All right, guys, I want you to imagine that this is your life. So your alarm wakes you up at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. It's cold out, it's dark out. You got to get ready to go to some job that you don't even like. So you stumble out of bed and into the bathroom to get your shower and get ready. You flick the lights on, it blinds you because you're still half asleep. You look in the mirror, and this is the first thing that you see. This physique. This is the average man in his late 20s, early 30s physique, 26% body fat. So you look in the mirror, you see this, bags under the eyes, about to head off to some job that you can't stand to get paid fuck all. This is how it's going. So you get in the shower, you get done with that, you walk out into the kitchen to make a quick breakfast and get on the road, and this is what you see. This is where you're living. An apartment like this, some dimly lit thing with the fluorescent light panel. Nothing screams dystopic reality to me like a fluorescent light panel. Like you just hear them buzzing. There's always like a fly in them or some shit. And it's like they put these things in these low income apartments and stuff like that. And it's like, again, think it's like dark out, right? It's like 6:30 in the morning. It's dark out. This light is blinding you. You're still half asleep. And you go into this kitchen. And this is what you're doing. And you're like, fuck, man. Like you're already like upset about what your day is going to be like. So you make your bagel with cream cheese and you get your coffee and you head outside. And this is where you're living. Some sort of like apartment complex kind of thing like this. The neighbor committed a domestic violence charge last week. There's a dog barking all the time. Somebody's smoking a cigarette outside. Like this is the vibes that you're on. It's cold out. You get in your car and this is what you see. This is what your $40,000 a year college degree got you, is this car, that apartment on a way to a job that you don't like. And so you see this and it's just like the perfect picture of what your life is like. Some soulless car from 2012 that you got used because that was all you could afford. You're defrosting the windshield right before you go to work because it's cold out, right? There's a check engine light on, and you're about to go sit in this traffic right here for 45 minutes on the way to your job. And then when you get to the job, this is what you see. Some sort of cubicle, again with the fluorescent lights. It's like, why do they do this with the fluorescent lights? You know what I'm saying? It's just like so like inhumane. It's just depressing, but they put this everywhere. It's like they're trying to make you depressed. The fluorescent lights, the cubicles, smells like carpet cleaner. You got Bonnie in HR complaining to you about her personal life drama while you put shit into a spreadsheet and you don't even know what you're doing. You're just like filling numbers out on some shit. And this is what you're getting paid to do it, right? This is the average income in America, $39,982 per year. Let's say you're doing well and you're making $50K per year. So after tax, you're making like what, $3,500 per month or something like that. I don't know how people are living off this shit, but this is the reality, okay? And so you go work in this cubicle, making this money, and here's your lunch break. Some garbage like this. This is what the kind of average person is eating on a daily basis. This is their lunch break, some shit they had in a brown paper bag. This is what you're fucking eating. This is why you have that physique that you're so proud of that you see first thing in the morning. And then once you get done with your workday, it's back in this fucking traffic, 45 minutes so that you can go home and sit bored on the couch scrolling on your phone for 3 hours with a podcast on in the background, right? It's like you got the Joe Rogan Experience on. He's like yucking it up with Theo Vaughn. You've got no friends, scrolling on your phone here, eating Chipotle or some shit like that, checking your dating apps, and what do you know? No matches. For the 5th day in a row, you've got no matches. You were hoping maybe something would come of it, but as usual, nothing, right? And so you're sitting here alone. You don't even have anyone to share an Instagram reel with. You don't have any close friends. You're making no money. And this is your life. And it's like you just do this on repeat. And the crazy thing is this is literally like the average day in the life for a man in his late 20s, early 30s. I shit you not, guys. Like this is the average life for a man in his late 20s, early 30s. And this should fucking terrify you. And it only gets worse, okay? You might think, oh, it's going to get so much better, right? Like life gets better, all this stuff. Not really, okay? This is where you end up at like 35. Fucking minivan. You traded out the Kia for a minivan because now you got a kid or two. You've got a wife like this who doesn't respect you, who fucking nags you all the time. She thinks you're a loser because you kind of are, truthfully. And you've got this Fight Club vibe going on, right? This is why Fight Club resonates. It's because so many guys are living this life. You've got the baggy white collared shirt on. You've gotten promoted from a junior data analyst to a senior data analyst at this point. So now you're making $60,000 a year. So now you're just in debt for more shit because you got a little bit more money. This is the kind of vibes you're on. You go home, naggy wife, crying kids, minivan. eating at Chili's. Like, this is the vibes, right? It's like Chili's is like a luxury, right? You eat at Chili's once a month. Like, it's the vibes, right? This is what the average guy's life is like. This is what happens if you follow the normal life path. And if you're an ambitious guy, this probably looks like hell to you. But you got to understand, this is literally the reality for 99% of men. You look around, just look around on a daily basis, you will see people who are completely out of shape. Just understand that the average person you're seeing is swamped in debt. They've got a sexless relationship. They've got kids who don't respect them. Like, this is what the average life of a man is like in 2025. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. Now, look, this picture that you're seeing of me right here, I think this picture perfectly sums up what it's like to be in a world where you see a future that fucking sucks. Is this picture. This picture is me. I'm probably like drunk and high at the same time. I'm like 20 years old, 19 years old, something like that. And this was what I was doing because I thought my life was going to be all this shit that I just showed you. I thought I was going to be like some HR manager, try and climb the corporate ladder, do all that shit. And I was absolutely depressed by it. I saw the future that was presented to me by society, and I was like, this sucks. I saw nothing inspiring to be like in front of me. I saw nothing in the future to look forward to. And because of that, I went on this rampage where I was basically like drunk and high almost every single day for like a year and a half straight until I finally discovered that you didn't have to live this way. And something clicked. And, I was in college, and I've told this story before, but I ended up dropping out of college, learning about entrepreneurship. I got my real estate license. It's obviously been a bumpy ride ever since then, right? There's highs and lows and all that kind of stuff. I won't bore you with the entire story now, but the point is, I'm in a much different place. And I figured out that you don't have to take the normal path in life, that if you can think differently and if you put in the work, you can live a fantastic life. And now I have a career that I'm passionate about, making 6 figures a year. I have passions that I pursue, whether it be boxing or training in the gym. I go on vacations and do cool shit, have cool experiences. I'm in control of my own life. I have friends that I like. I go on great dates. Like, I built a life that, again, I'm not the ultimate pinnacle of life, but I've built a life that I'm actually thrilled to live. And honestly, the fact that I'm not at the pinnacle shows you how attainable this is. This is literally just about working hard and thinking differently. And that's really what this video is all about. What changed for me was realizing I didn't have to take the normal life path and that there was a completely different way of living. And we now call this LifeMaxxing. This is the term, this is kind of the ethos of this channel. That's what we're all about here, is LifeMaxxing. LifeMaxxing is about intentionally building a life that focuses on freedom, purpose, and epic stories. So the average person out there, you think about them like, what do they build their life around? Well, they really don't build it around much of anything. They haven't thought about their life, and this is why they end up in a shitty place, is because they haven't thought about anything. But their life is, if it's constructed around anything, it's essentially constructed around acquiring debt for things that get them stuck in life. They acquire college debt, they acquire a mortgage, they lock themselves into a marriage that they're not really that passionate about, they have kids, and listen, I'm all for kids and all that stuff, but essentially every time you pop out a kid, it's like a $300,000 debt, right? And so this is kind of what people do. They build their lives around these things that get them stuck in a place they don't want to be. There's no intentional design. They kind of view it as like, hey, I go work and then I go home and I sit on the couch and I kind of just fuck off. They kind of like spend all their time waiting for the weekend or waiting for their paid vacation once every quarter or 6 months or something like that, where they go to the beach that they always go to. This is what average life is like, and to me, this is total hell. And so I just knew for me, I couldn't do this, and if you're like me, you feel the exact same way. The normal life is just not an option for you. You've got to do something different, and that's what LifeMaxxing is all about. LifeMaxxing is about taking a work hard, play hard approach to life, focusing on personal growth and getting better while building an incredible lifestyle that makes life worth living. This is totally doable for anybody who will just put in the work and think different. And that's the crazy thing about it, is that like 99% of people will not do what I'm talking about in this video. They're just going to do the normal shit that leads to a shitty life. And I'm just like, dude, like, you could do something different. This really is not that radical. You know what I mean? It's literally, again, work hard, play hard. Focus on that kind of mindset. Focus on getting better. The average person doesn't get better after high school or college. They educate themselves to that point, and then they kind of just think they should cruise off of that for the rest of their life. And this is why their life's a mess. They don't focus on pushing themselves. They very rarely escape their comfort zone. And so they have nothing good in life. They don't get to experience the best things in life, whether that be, getting better, which is truly a blessing in life, that ability to improve yourself and watch your life get better, and then all the cool experiences that come with that. I'm saying the average person doesn't get to do that stuff. Most people will never embrace life maxing, but if you're watching this video still, you're the exception who's willing to think different and make your own path. You would have already clicked off this video if that 40K per year bullshit lifestyle appealed to you. So clearly you want something different, okay? And like life maxing is that solution. Now there's 5 core pillars of life maxing, those being dating, which we describe as dating 2.0, which is basically like the new way that you need to date. There's money and lifestyle, which focuses on building a freedom business, meaning a business that prioritizes making good money while maintaining a freedom lifestyle so you can travel and control your life, right? So like you don't want to be the kind of person who has to ask your boss off for work, right? I just think that's so stupid. You're a full-grown man having to ask your boss permission to leave. Like you have to ask another man's permission to do things with your life. I just think that's completely unacceptable, right? So we want to build a lifestyle where you're in control of your life, where you've got the money to do cool shit and you have the flexibility and control to go do those cool things. You want both, right? There's some people who have money but no freedom, and there's some people who have freedom but no money. We want both so that we can have cool shit in our lives. The next pillar is mindset, which we describe as the douche mentality. Then we've got fitness. We want to focus on fitness and developing a high level of fitness and health, right? You want to look good. We call it being aesthetic and dangerous. You want to be the kind of guy who looks good, who's attractive to women, looks like he can do damage. And then you also have the martial arts background so you can actually do damage. Being aesthetic and dangerous is the perfect combination for men. And then the 5th pillar is your social life. You want to find the others, meaning other people who think like you. This is something that most people in our modern world really struggle with because they don't understand that the game has changed. The way you make friends today, it's like you can have better friends than ever before, but you got to put in the work to find them. It's not like you're going to be best friends with your neighbor down the street usually. Usually, if you're somebody who wants more out of life, you got to go find people who think like you because they're rare. They're the uncommon people. And this is about joining communities, using social media, moving to a different location where these people are at and finding the other people. And if you can focus on these 5 things, you build a great dating life, you have a freedom business, you have the right mindset, you're aesthetic and dangerous, and you have a brotherhood of friends who are thinking like you and on the same page, that's a fantastic life, and I don't see why everybody's not pursuing this, okay? Now, most of the videos on this channel relate to one of these 5 pillars, and our school community is devoted completely to these things. If you're interested in joining, the link will be in the description. So I'm not going to belabor the point and go into all 5 of those pillars again. All the videos on the channel cover that. But what I want to do in this video is lay out the most important concept in life maxing that is at the foundation of the philosophy. You need to understand this, and this is a big shift from the way I think a lot of people view things. Most people view life in this way where they're either doing the normie thing and they're going along with it and they're just like kind of like have their head in the sand and they're completely fucking clueless, or they go this route where they're just black-pilled and they're complaining about everything and everything is screwed. And the life maxed approach is different than that. Life maxing is about understanding if your life is bad, it's not because life sucks, it's because you're playing the wrong game. This is a really important concept that you need to understand. You see, this is what life used to look like, right? 1950s type shit. You've got like your kids and your wife and all that stuff, and you got your little white picket fence. It was that American dream type shit. This is what life used to be like. College was affordable. Houses took only a few years to pay off. One man could take care of his family on a single income, and the system encouraged stable family units. So like women were encouraged to be housewives, men were encouraged to go work and pay the bills, and you had these kids and you could afford all of this on this single income, and life was very stable. It was like the entire system was set up for normies. But this was kind of a blip in the history of humanity. That's the thing you need to understand. A lot of these doomer people, they feel like the system is rigged the way it is today, but it's like actually like the way things are now is a lot more normal than it was back in like the 1950s. The 1950s was a blip. We had this post-war economy where we were the most prosperous nation in the world by far. It wasn't even close. We had just gotten out of a depression thanks to our wartime economy, which made everybody pretty prosperous. Everything was now affordable. It was this blip. It was not the trend. So his human history has basically been a few people have all the money, everybody else is impoverished and suffering and living a miserable life. So this was a blip. But people like bemoan and want to go back to this blip. But you got to understand the game has changed. Things have changed. College is now an indentured servitude, right? You go to college, it's 20 to 40 grand a year. You're going to get out, you're going to be paying that off until you're 40, working a job you don't even want to work. So basically, you went to go get in debt to do something with your life that you have no passion for. Now you're stuck doing that to pay off the debt that you took out to get the job. It's almost like you basically shot yourself in the foot. That's basically what college is for most people, is they kind of just shoot themselves in the foot with it. It's like they literally just trap themselves right there in a life they don't want to live. And now houses take decades to pay off, right? Even if you're making decent money, like let's say you're making $120,000 per year or something like that. It's like you're still going to be paying off a house for like 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. The average income in America is $40,000 per year. You can't even afford a house on that kind of income. You have to have a wife that's working as well. So now you combine your income, get to 80, you get some basic ass house in the suburbs, and you're paying it off for the next 30 years working a job you don't want to work. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, this makes no sense. The system is also designed for childless liberal women on SSRIs. That is basically, when you look at the system, this is who it serves. It's like abortions and corporate positions and women going on girls' night outs. That's basically what our system is designed for, is that kind of demo. Childless liberal women on SSRIs. That is what our entire culture has been constructed around, because those are the people who spend most of the money. It's like kind of capitalist system, right? Women buy more shit. These women with no children who are on like SSRIs and stuff, they're the ones who are buying all the stuff. It's like our whole economy has been built around pleasing childless liberal women on SSRIs, and these are like the worst people in our society. Like, they're unfucking bearable, but that's what the thing's built around. And you look around, you're like, oh, no wonder this shit sucks, right? You see all this, it's like, yeah, it's a fucking issue. The world has changed, and the people who are struggling are the ones who are playing an outdated game. That's what you got to understand, right? So like all this shit I just showed you, it's like, again, it worked at one point, it doesn't work anymore. And if you're trying to play this game, you're playing an outdated game, okay? It's kind of like this, right? Like these guys, this is just some like 1950s NBA players. These guys, they were probably good basketball players in the 1950s, but if they go play against like Steph Curry or LeBron James right now, they're just going to get fucking smoked. The game has completely changed, and that's basically what it's like if you're trying to play this outdated system of life in today's world. The world has completely changed. Most people complain about change. The LifeMaxxer embraces it and realizes this is the best time to ever live. Seriously, if you understand how to play the game, there's never been a better time to live. And it's so important to understand that, because it's like the ultimate white pill. It's the ultimate thing that can motivate you to realize, oh, there's so much more out there if you just stop playing an outdated game. If you're playing an outdated game, you're just going to lose. You got to think differently. If you understand the money game today, you can make more money than ever, and you can do it pursuing your own interests and with more freedom than any generation before you, right? People will complain about like, it's not like the 1970s or 80s or some shit. Like, it's like the best reality back then for the average person was like you made decent money doing something that you weren't all that passionate about, but at least you could afford a house. It's like, okay, that's fine, but like we can do better than that now. Again, like most people aren't doing better now, but that's because they're playing an outdated game. But if you realize this, it's like you can make a lot more money than ever before. You can do it in a way that gives you flexibility to travel. You can work on a computer. You can use social media. You can leverage the internet and all of the tools at our disposal in the modern world. You can make more money than ever doing something you're actually interested in a way that you never could before. And so again, the game is actually great if you learn how to play it. If you're playing an outdated game, you're going to be cooked, okay? We have access to healthier food on demand than any time in history, with gyms on every corner. Most people are out of shape, but that's because, again, they're playing an outdated game. They want to sit around on the couch eating fucking McDonald's and think they're going to be healthy. It's like, yeah, you're going to be completely out of shape with health problems and chronic diseases and all this kind of shit. But if you understand how the game actually works, then you learn how nutrition works and all that stuff, you go to the gym, you have access to healthy food in a grocery store right around the corner. It's like you can play this game in such a way where you're healthier than ever before too. You understand how that works? Social media gives us access to more dating options and better friendships than ever before. You can go make friends with people all over the globe who are thinking exactly like you, instead of just having to be friends with your buddies from high school who you don't really resonate with, right? You can go date lots of women. If you make yourself an attractive guy and you understand how to use social media, which is what Dating 2.0 is really about, you have access to more women than ever before. Whereas back in the day, it was like the one girl at the bar. And you're competing for her with like 5 other guys. This is how it worked. Right now you can have an abundant dating life on your terms in a way that was never possible before, thanks to the modern world. But you have to understand how to play the game. If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go to a mall and talk to some chick and she's going to want you, it just doesn't work. Clearly, you got to understand how the world has changed, how to play the modern game. Okay, the modern world is not set up for the lazy or the ignorant. It's kind of like the old world was really set up for it. Like the boomer generation, they always joke like boomers believe everything that's on TV. It really is kind of like that, where like older generations, it was like set up where you could just trust whatever was put on the TV and whatever the government said, and you could show up to your job and just buy a house and everything was going to be fucking smooth sailing for you, right? And I'm sure that's probably like a simplification. I'm sure the boomers, honestly, like we give the boomers shit. I'm sure they had some shit that was difficult for them. I don't know what, but like you get what I'm saying though. Like the world was basically set up for like the lazy and the ignorant. You didn't have to know shit. You didn't have to work that hard, and everything was just going to work for you. But it's not that way anymore. It is set up now for the ambitious and the educated. That's why, like, we live in this society that is a lot more unequal than ever before, and all the spoils are going to the winners. And the winners are the people who are ambitious, hardworking, educated people. They learn how to play the game. They work hard. They have goals. They go after it. Those kind of people are still crushing it. They're crushing it more than ever before. Whereas the lazy and the ignorant, the people who don't understand how to play the game, the people who think things should just work for them without any effort, those people are struggling miserably and they feel like the system's rigged. It's not rigged. It's just not set up for lazy, ignorant people, okay? If you trust the system and feel entitled, this will be a terrible time to live. You got to understand that, right? If you just trust the government, if you trust the college system, if you trust the guidance counselor, if you trust that the corporation's not going to fire you and send your job to fucking India as soon as they get a chance to, or replace you with a robot, like you're going to be fucked up, dude. If you trust that the food you're eating is going to be healthy at every fast food chain, you're fucked up, right? If you trust that the girl that you met at, I don't know, a social event doesn't have 20 other guys DMing her right now and she's got tons of options and you can just be a nice guy and buy her flowers and she's going to love you, like you're fucked up. If you try and do all this shit, you're screwed. You got to play the game different. You got to be ambitious. You got to work hard. You got to get educated. If you do that, then life's amazing, okay? If you put in the work and learn how to play the game, you can live the greatest existence of any human ever. Seriously, understand that. Like, you could literally, like, with the technology we have, with our understanding of medicine and health and all that, you could live to be like over 100. You have prosperity. There's no wars really, like certainly not in America and things like that. Like everything is pretty much set up in a fantastic way for the people who are willing to figure out how to play this game. You can travel in a way you never could before. You have access to resources and information and communication. All of this shit is at your fingertips, but you got to take on this LifeMaxxed philosophy and embrace the world. Stop complaining about it. Don't put your head in the sand and do what everybody else is doing, because that will lead you nowhere. You got to live differently, okay? This kind of shit right here, this could literally just be a day in your life in a way that it never could be in the past. You could eat some really high quality, tasty food that is available on demand pretty much. You can go to a grocery store and get it. You can go buy it at a restaurant. You can pursue your passions. You can use YouTube to learn anything that you want to learn, and you could be working from a computer. Like this kind of shit, this could just be a typical day in your life in 2025. This was never possible. You do realize, like, most men in like 1960 had no hobbies. Seriously, like their hobbies was like they maybe went and had a drink or smoked a cigar with their friends, like occasionally. But it was basically work your job, go home, eat dinner, and like maybe you go to church. That was kind of like life. It was very boring, honestly. Again, but like you very rarely were able to go pursue passions. This type of shit just wasn't really around like that, okay? Going on trips like this, these are some trips I've taken, like doing cool shit, cool experiences. This type of stuff was just not that accessible back in the day. It was like a big deal if somebody went on a trip. Nowadays, you can go on trips all the time if you set your life up correctly. You can do cool experiences. These things are all available for you. And again, like, yeah, I'm doing much better than the average guy, but I feel like my current results are totally attainable for anybody who's willing to work hard, because it's basically all I did is I saw the way the system was going. I took a different direction. I educated myself. I worked hard. I put myself in a better spot. There's no reason you can't build this kind of lifestyle either, right? It's not about you. You don't have to have a Bugatti to have a great life. I mean, I'm all for it if you want it. But my point is, like, you can have a fantastic life just by thinking different and making good choices and working hard and being educated. You see how this works. This is not that radical sabbatical. Like all of this shit is available for you. And so the core message of this video is fuck a normal life. You need to life max, guys. Fuck all the normal shit. Fuck a 40K per year job with a Karen wife and a dad bod. Fuck all of that shit. Fuck, going out and drinking with your high school buddies at 30 years old and wishing you were back in college where you could goof off, like, and hating your life. Fuck all of that. You need to life max. And if this concept resonates with you, I invite you to come join us inside the LifeMaxxed school community. We've got a very active community as well as courses teaching you every element of the LifeMaxxed philosophy, from dating 2.0 to the douche mentality to building a 10K per month business through social media to getting your fitness right and building your social network. If you're interested, the link is in the description below. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.